Friday, March 24th, 2023 was a day that no one in Mississippi will ever forget. A deadly tornado churned a path from Rolling Fork to Silver City, leaving destruction and chaos in its wake.
And they still think this is a large tornado on the ground about to approach midnight in Silver City.
Homes and buildings destroyed, families torn apart. Those who sheltered and protected themselves from the tornado now call themselves survivors of a violent EF4 tornado.
Oh my God! Oh shit. We've got a bunch of houses hit. I'll be out.
In the midst of this devastation, at Silver City, Mississippi, I witnessed the true heroes emerge. They didn't take on the appearance that you would normally expect if you asked someone what a hero might look like. Not a single one of them arrived in official uniform. They lacked special tools or any powers. Some of these heroes didn't even sign up for the job. Neighbors helped neighbors free survivors who were trapped in their homes or under cars and trees. Police officers became impromptu ambulances rushing seriously injured children to the nearest hospital. The scene that night was surreal. On one side of the road, there was a man, a member of the local fire department, kneeled over a little girl, equipped with nothing but himself and his two bare hands, which he used to administer chest compressions in a heroic and selfless effort to defy death.
Where is it? Back here? Back there with the impaled lady. She had a pulse and then they lost it supposedly. So if anybody does have an AED, that might be a viable code. Okay, I'm gonna get more supplies and I'm just gonna head back there.
Some of us rushed in to help, while others stood with a lifeless stare and a look in their eyes as if they had been almost totally unresponsive. They were in complete and total shock. Everything that they owned and ever knew was just blown away. On the other side of the road, there was a family in tears, holding each other because they had just found out that their mother and wife was accounted for. She was alive. Just a few meters down the street, even more chaos ensued as these everyday heroes worked very diligently to preserve lives that the tornado tried to claim. It's these polar opposites in these situations that reinforce just how delicate human life truly is and why each and every day should never be taken for granted.
Hey everybody, Storm Chaser Vince Welty. You probably know me. I'm that Storm Chaser with the flashy lights and the one that's told all the time on Twitter, you're only in this for the views, you don't care about anything else, you just want your money. Yeah, whatever, we've all heard it. Most of you know it's not true, some of you guys fall into that. If I was out here getting rich, I'd be driving something a hell of a lot nicer than what I am right now. I'm also one of the storm chasers that stopped and helped during this tragic event, and it really hit me close to home. This video is not for the views. This video is actually a thank you, and I want to express my gratitude for something. So please just don't click away, just hold on here. I'll show some more scary tornado video to keep you, informed here and locked onto the videos. Just hear me out. Folks, when I arrived on scene that night, I did not expect a mass casualty incident. When we were live streaming that tornado, I had no idea that it was going to be directly impacting this town and destroying lives. I was totally overwhelmed and undersupplied when it came to helping folks. There was a couple of other storm chasers on scene too. My friends Brett, Heath, and Sydney, they all rushed as quickly as possible to try to help others. They all ended their storm chase like any responsible storm chaser would. Because folks, this was an absolute catastrophe scene. These folks are some of those unexpected heroes I was talking about. Some of them helped administer CPR on a small child, others went around looking for an automatic defibrillator, and others helped trying to free people from those homes that were on top of them. Now, before I was a storm chaser, I spent several years in the pre-hospital care world. I was an EMT and I really enjoyed that job, but it wasn't for me. It's storm chasing is where my heart is, and that's what I want to do for the rest of my life. I love documenting the weather, and I find beauty in all of these situations. Tornadoes are one of the most beautiful things in the world, but it's these rare occurrences where they do claim lives and cause destruction that we need to start making a difference. And quite frankly, you know who's the first people to oftentimes show up on scene of a tornado damage path, especially in rural areas where there's very few population and the fire departments are very sparse, so it takes them a long time to get to places? Yeah, you guessed it, it's the storm chasers. And just imagine if more storm chasers had training, for first aid and medical emergencies, incident management, triage, situations like that, and some supplies. To me, that seems to make a lot of sense. Now hold on, I know all the haters right now are freaking out. Oh, they're trying to be the fire department, they're trying to be ambulances. Oh God, I'm ready to click the unsubscribe button. No, just chill out, people, just hold on. Listen, okay,
We've got a lot of storm chasers that are retired nurses, doctors, physicians, Army medics, firefighters, police officers, paramedics, current and past. These folks have the skills to render aid and preserve human life. Some of them cannot afford the equipment. Some of them can't afford the trauma bandages, the tourniquets, the AEDs, things like that. But you know what? The ones that are trained and know how to use them, I think we need to get them that equipment because sometimes they can save lives. So I thought we would try something a little bit different. Thanks to the help of my staff and a couple of others, we were able to crowdfund all of this. Now, I know, again, haters, I'm calling you guys out now before you can call me out, right? You're all gonna be like, oh, you put all that stuff in a closet in your office here just because you wanna look important and you wanna get views and you're gonna go sell it on eBay. No, I'm not, folks. I used so many supplies. I used just bags and bags and bags of trauma dressings. We used several tourniquets, compression bandages, splints, etc. the other night in the Mississippi disasters. I have to restock. And you're thinking, wow, that's way too much to restock. Well, yeah, that's not all fitting in my car. We're gonna put that in the cars of some other storm chasers. There's a couple of storm chasers here that are trained, do know what they're doing, and we're gonna get them these supplies. I've spoken to them and they're going to appreciate it now. We are going to be making a couple of videos on this, so stay tuned so you can keep up with this. But it's gonna be a couple of weeks before we get all this sorted because, my God, guys, you folks have bought a lot of stuff. We have everything from trauma shears to flashlights. We got an AED, which I'm going to carry with, that's probably a good idea with the lightning, right, that storm chasers encounter, or just a regular cardiac emergency. AEDs are a life-saving tool. It's an automatic defibrillator that anybody can use with very little training, if none at all. Included are just regular bandages, splints, and pretty much a basic trauma kit for anyone with very basic training would be able to use these items and help someone. Now, I know. So you're a storm chaser and you want to get this equipment. Trust me, I would love to give everybody this and train everybody this. I'm not an EMS instructor. I cannot go and appropriately say, hey, I'm going to teach you everything you need to know here. Apply this tourniquet, right? Now, I can show you how to apply a tourniquet, right? Big deal. Put it on, cinch it down, good to go. Don't do anything dumb, right? Bleeding, stop the bleed, real easy. But I want to take this a step further. So I've got some friends in the pre-hospital care industry, and they're going to be helping me provide some training for these folks, right? I've got a couple of paramedic instructors that are going to be doing some incident command system instruction, which is the FEMA NIMS system. So folks know when they're on scene how to identify an incident command, if there is one, how to establish incident command if nobody's there. Let's say 10 storm chasers arrive. One of those storm chasers, and there's nobody there yet, right? There's no one else there. It's safe to enter the scene. They've got a command set up, which is basically somebody that's going to be at the road or at the entrance to this destroyed trailer home or park or something like that. They're going to be calling 911. They're going to be accountable for everyone. They're going to know who goes into that scene, what equipment they have, and who comes out. When the fire department shows up, they're going to give all that information to them and say, we have 5 trained people in there. This is where they're going. We've got contact with them on the radio, and we've got 5 others that we're not quite sure, they just showed up, but here's where they are. These are, their cars are over here. This is who's in there. This is the training they have, and this is what we have done. How else may we help you, or do you not need any more assistance? We're also going to make sure they know how to use these supplies. I know not everybody's comfortable doing CPR. Let's get CPR certified. I'll go through the class again. I've been CPR certified for years, obviously. Look at my previous job. I used to drive an ambulance. I used to be in the back of an ambulance. I used to work in an emergency room. But I'll take the class again if it means documenting it on video for maybe some training for folks and setting a good example. Let's go get CPR certified chasers. And even if you don't want to carry supplies, CPR is so easy. If you can literally push down on an object, you can do this. There have been stories of children doing CPR or compressions only, because it's really pretty much compressions, chest compressions only. You don't need to put your mouth on their mouth anymore. If that's what's freaking some people out, don't worry about it. Just chest compressions are the most important thing. There's been children that have done this and saved lives. Again, I'm going to have more videos on this topic, but thank you so much, viewers. You have helped myself and a couple of other chasers make sure that we are equipped and ready to respond when we come across disasters like this.